Good morning, tribe. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. I want to start out today by thanking everyone who's left me a message, who sent me an email, who's encouraged me. I really and truly appreciate it. It gives me the motivation to keep going. This isn't the most comfortable thing for me to do, sitting here in front of a camera all by myself talking, but I really love doing it, and I think it's important for everyone to get to know us and our product and just have fun and sit in it and, you know, hang out with me. So I appreciate you. Thank you for the encouragement. Thank you. Okay. I spoke with a customer this week. Hi, Julie. Julie and I talked about her order a little bit, and as we were talking, we started talking about color and about how color behaves differently on each of the bases that we carry. So while we were talking, I thought, you know what, this is perfect. This is the perfect topic for my next video. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. I walked around the studio and I found the base that I had I found the colorway that I had the most bases available on, and I just went with that. So we're going to be talking about Warlock. I'm going to grab, pardon me, my Ariel here. Ariel is a 100% superwash merino base. It is a light fingering base, so bang for your buck, lots of yardage for the same size, 140 grams in a large, as you would for other bases, but you get more yardage because it's a light fingering. So more yardage, 100% superwash merino. It's also the most saturated colorway base that we have for colorways. Because it's merino wool and because it's superwash, it kind of like sucks up that dye, and the color that is just vibrant and saturated and full bodied, I guess, if we're gonna give it a name. So here it is on Ariel. Get it up nice and close. You can see how saturated the yarn is. Look at the purples and the deep dark grays there. They're really saturated. They're really bright and just beautiful. So if you're looking for something with a lot of yardage, light fingering, and like all the color, I mean, if you could see, I wish I had grabbed a couple others to show you, but other colorways, it's even more pronounced, the difference. It's just really saturated and bright, and it really takes over a project, which is kind of cool if you're doing a lot of stockinette, or if you're doing minimal lace, or if you're doing just a panel of lace, but some more solid. That way the color is the star, and it's kind of cool just to see. So I brought Tasty to compare. So Tasty, here we go, is a merino cashmere nylon base. It is a true fingering weight. And as you can see, the color is still pretty vibrant. It's the 100% or the superwash merino in there really takes the color. The cashmere softens it a bit, so it's a little less saturated, but it is still very vibrant. It's not quite as out there as the Ariel is, but the cashmere and the nylon in it give it a little bit extra bounce. So the drape is a little bit different. It's a little heavier, but it's still very light. It's a fingering. So I'm going to put them up side by side. Now, the only difference you can really see straight off the bat is that they're wound in reverse. They have the same proportions, the same amount of purple, the same amount of gray, the same amount of the dark gray. They're just wound in reverse. This one's got the purple, this one's got the gray. But if you really look, especially at that purple, that light purple, you can see that this one is a little bit more purpley than this one. Very close, very close. The difference mainly for these is the gauge. Light fingering for Ariel, fingering for Tasty. All right, next, put this here so I can compare that. I brought Glamour. I am hoping on camera you can see that sparkle. The sun is just starting to come out, so maybe that'll help a little bit. That sparkle is called Stellina. Stellina is a nylon fiber. It's non-metallic. It's actually made from the same kind of nylon that you use for sock yarn, only instead of being extruded, it is cut on the bias, which makes it reflective. So the shininess reflects the color around it a little bit as well. And it's not overstated, it's not gaudy, it's not like aha, lots of sparkle. We call it glamour because it's a subtle sparkle, it's glamorous, and it's just enough bling. This is how I bead. I don't have the patience for beading, so this is the sparkle. In fact, pardon me, I don't know if you can see on here that today I'm wearing Glamour. So Glamour is a merino cashmere Stellina, which is a nylon fiber, and it takes color very similarly to Tasty. Put them side by side because they're very similar in makeup. However, in my opinion, the Stellina in the Glamour, this one over here, softens it even a little more than the nylon in the Tasty. If you look at those two purples side by side, you can kind of see that this one's a little bit lighter. Now, I don't know if that just has to do with the Stellina and the reflection, so the light maybe doesn't shine on it the same way. But in my opinion, you're going to get a little less saturation on the Glamour. That's still a vibrant color. The color is still really great. You're not going to miss it, that's for sure. You can see this is that Warlock. This is our last year 2019 colorway of the year, comma. But the color is there. You're not wanting for any color, that's for sure. But it's just not as like in your face. What else did I bring? Ooh, okay, I brought Kabam. Kabam is such an interesting base to me. I'm gonna put it up so you can see a little bit while I'm talking about it. Kabam is a merino bamboo nylon. And if you look, especially in that dark gray section, I'm really hoping you can see it. It looks almost heathered. Can you see that? Maybe on the other side, you can see it a little better. Yeah. So that gray section is just, it looks a little heathered, and that's because the bamboo resists the dye just a bit. So you kind of, if our mills didn't as finely mill this as well as they do, and really do the blending, they do such a wonderful job with the blending. If they didn't do such a good job, you'd probably see some white bits, some white chunks, some bits where the dye just didn't adhere at all, and that would be the bamboo. But because it's so finely milled and it's really integrated in with the merino and the nylon, it just gives this really soft heathered effect, which further subdues the color. But I find it really interesting and really kind of elegant the way that it does it. So here they are side by side. Here's Glamour, here's Kabam. You can see those grays again are a little bit softer here, especially on the dark grays compared to the Glamour. Now, if I put this next to the Ariel, where we started, you can really see a difference. Take a look at that. So Ariel's here, Glamour's here, or Kabam is here. And look at those grays. What a difference. What a difference a little bamboo makes. So bamboo is a wonderful fiber. It is light, it's airy, but it also has those cellulose structures in there that's gonna help trap some heat as well. So it keeps you cool, it keeps you warm, depending on where you are. It's nice and light, it's a fingering weight. So if you are in a milder climate, this is a great option for you. Or if you need something light, maybe to go out for dinner and you're always under the fan like I am, bamboo's a great option. Also, Kabam is really great for socks. That structure combined with the nylon makes for a very sturdy sock base, and it's super soft. So you get that as well. Bamboo has some antimicrobial properties just naturally, so it might help keep a little bit of the stink away. Maybe you can go a couple extra times without washing, which will extend the life of your yarn as well. Bamboo's just a great all-around product. One of my favorites, Kabam. After Kabam, let's see, let's go with Catnip. Catnip, here we go, is a single ply merino silk 50/50. Now it's not in superwash. Superwash, remember how we talked about in Ariel, superwash helped contribute to the vibrancy and the saturation. This one does not have superwash in it, so that treatment has not been applied to the merino. So the color is a little bit less than any other, just at the start. And then silk also does not really love to be dyed, so it resists just a bit, not in the same way that bamboo does. It doesn't like refuse to be dyed. It takes it a little bit less. So it is a softer result. Let's put it with the tasty, just so you can kind of see. The purples are quite different. It's almost turned kind of a pink color on this one because of that merino silk blend. Let's see if I can put it, here's the Glamour. There we go. So you can really see that. Now, Catnip is also single ply, which is really kind of cool for a stitch effect. It really gives you some good stitch definition. It's good for hats. It's great for a cowl, a soft cowl, or a scarf that's small, like Zuzu's Petals is what it's known for, that size, this Catnip small. Zuzu's Petals is a great project. It can be made with a single Catnip small, and you get that really soft silk right up next to your skin. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, I ran out of Warlock, so I decided to grab a Le Cirque because Le Cirque has a very similar feel to it, but I wanted to show you Muse. Here's Le Cirque on Muse, and can you see how almost like a gradient, one color it looks? Really silvery to kind of soft gray. Here it is. I found it on a Tasty as well, just to give you a guide. Look at how different those two are. That's the same colorway, the same proportions, same dye, just different base. So Muse is also a 50/50 silk merino blend, not superwash. It is fingering versus Catnip was an Aran weight. It's a fingering weight yarn. The silk in it makes it really shiny, just like the Catnip, and I think it even softens it a little bit more than the Catnip, and I think that's just due to the it being a fingering weight. I don't know what it is about that. Maybe again the light reflecting off of it, but it is very soft. If you are looking for subtle color and super soft, Muse is your girl. That's where you want to go to. Silk, like I said, just kind of rejects the color, or it just doesn't like to get as saturated. All right, that being said, we have one other base that I want to show you, and I did find it on Warlock. It's our newest base. It's called Zaftig. Zaftig is a merino cashmere silk, right? I mean, come on. It's a heavier weight. I think it's a DK or a worsted. It's a worsted weight. It is dying to be a sweater. The weight of it, the hand of it, the feel of it, it wants to be a sweater. Also, cashmere and silk in the same base. Yes, thank you. The difference between Zaftig, Muse, and Catnip is that Zaftig is mixed with a superwash merino. And I just want to put these two next to each other just so you can kind of get a picture of what the superwash treatment can really do for a merino and for color. I found it in Warlock, so I'm going to show it to you next to the Catnip. So this is Zaftig. You wouldn't know there was silk in here by looking at it. That superwash bumps up the color so much that when people find out there's silk in here, they're like, what? That's silk? I'm gonna hold this right here. There's Zaftig. And there's Catnip. Can you see the difference there? Here, let me turn, there's this. It's kind of amazing. Here's Muse. I know this is a different colorway, but you can kind of get the idea. The color on this Zaftig is just bonkers. It's really great. I've used it. I've made a couple cowls with it. Because it's worsted, you're going to get less yardage. Even on, this one's an extra large, I think. Yeah, extra large. 210 grams, 360 yards because of how wide the yarn itself is. You can kind of see it here. It's amazing. I love Zaftig. So if you're looking for cashmere silk soft, but you still want that color that you get with like a Tasty, I would put this up there with Tasty in color. I really would. It's hard to see on camera. I'm hoping you're getting the gist of everything this way, but I put it up there with Tasty as far as saturation. It's pretty cool. Okay, I mean, I think that's everything. That's everything that I have to show you that's in that colorway. I hope that was helpful. If you guys have questions about color and about which base you should get based on the amount of saturation that you're looking for, you can send me an email, goods@twistedfiberart.com, and I'll try and answer that as quickly as I can. Another great way to kind of gauge what the different bases look like is to join our Ravelry group. There are thousands of projects in there in almost all of our colorways, and they're there for people to look at. It's a great way to get ideas for projects, but it also is a good way to kind of take a peek at how the colors look on the different bases. I hope you join us. There's some really fun things on there. Also, you can ask me some questions in the tea time thread so that I can have something to talk about for our next video. I hope you join us. Thank you so much, everyone. It was a pleasure. Bye, Twisties.